Welcome to the Imperial Newsstand. I'm Alan Imperial. Welcome to the show. Today we're going to listen to Mayor de Blasio with some breaking news provided by Channel 4 NBC here in New York City.
I am very, very concerned that we see a rapid spread of this disease,
Okay?
and it is time to take more dramatic measures. And I will tell you that the issue that's been on everyone's mind is our public schools.
It has.
I was a public school parent for the entire education of my children, pre-K through 12th grade for both of them. I know just how much our parents depend on our public schools. I know right now there are so many parents who do not necessarily have any other place for their children. There are so many parents who depend on our schools for meals for their children.
Yep.
There are so many public servants we depend on, our first responders, transit workers, healthcare workers who need their kids to be in school. So for everyone who is wondering why this has been such a difficult decision, it's because I know the full cost of shutting our schools. I know all of the negative ramifications of this decision, and it's very painful. It's going to be very difficult for a lot of families. And so this is a decision that I have taken with no joy whatsoever, with a lot of pain, honestly, because it's something I could not in a million years have imagined having to do. But we are dealing with a challenge and a crisis that we have never seen in our lifetimes, and it has only just begun.
Only just begun.
So I regret to have to announce that as of tomorrow, our public schools will be closed. In other words, to all parents who are hearing this now, there is
Thank
no
you.
school tomorrow, and we will be suspending our public schools until after the spring vacation. And I'm going to say this very precisely. We will make a first attempt to restart our schools on Monday, April 20th.
Wow.
But
That's
I
about
have
5
to be
weeks.
honest that
5 weeks?
we're dealing with a lot of unknowns and a lot of challenges. And we understand how difficult it will be to achieve that goal. But just so everyone has something to organize their thinking around, our first attempt to reopen the public schools will be on Monday, April 20th.
All right. Monday, April 20th. Let's not have the next one. So I found out about this because Paul Bienzi, I really am butchering your name, I'm sorry, uh, hit posted it on Twitter about 2 hours ago, and I'm just getting it to now because I was out looking to buy some supplies like Neosporin, Band-Aids, things like that. But let's get to the details because between now, which is March 15th as of this recording, to April 20th, that's about 5 weeks. So this is what's coming. So no school tomorrow. They're treating it like a snow day apparently. Uh, and then up until April 20th, students not in attendance. Good. And this week they're going to have parent-teacher conference and a panel on public education policy, which are both important. Some things that I've seen floated around, nothing concrete, is that they want to do remote learning, and I'm all for that. We definitely want to limit our interactions with people. We want to have social distancing, as they call it. I think it's about 3 to 6 feet. I don't know the exact footage because, when you're waiting at line at a grocery store, nobody's really respecting that. But this is important, so I wanted to get it out as soon as possible. Let's see what WPIX Channel 11 News has to say because they bring up some important points. So, the things that I wanted to talk about is the fact that New York City, 900,000 meals are provided every single day. To quote the Eliza Canson of WPIX, in New York City, 900,000 meals a day are served up at schools, and the education department is ready to feed students if there are closures, a spokesperson previously said. We know that many families, school is the only place to get meals for the day, and that need continues even if the school closes. So, if a school is closed for 24 hours, we're prepared to serve grab and go breakfasts and lunch for any student who wants it. That's fantastic. This is good news because I think this was the real concern of Mayor de Blasio is what happens to the children that actually need the public school services. Unfortunately, it's a fact of life that there are, as I previously reported, about 40,000 uh, children in shelters in New York City, and there's about 34,000, if I remember the number correctly, and 74,000 children who are displaced but not in shelters. So I'm happy to report that they are thinking about the most vulnerable. Now, something else that's really good is the fact that, if I could find it very quickly, Command F for the win. New York City first needs to have a plan in place for the next 24 hours for childcare for essential workers and a plan to make sure kids will continue to get meals they need. Uh, let's talk about the real heroes of what's going on in New York City. That's the public workers who haven't taken a day off. That's the people who work in hospital. That's the people who work at 911. That's the people who are still collecting garbage because we're a dirty city and we need them. New York's strongest, and I'm grateful we have New York City's strongest to collect our garbage. And these services can't go away. So I understand why Mayor de Blasio was so reluctant in closing the schools, but this is the right move. We do not want to have a pandemic just go totally out of control like we've seen in other countries around the world. And I think limiting uh, the interactions kids have with each other and with the public is a good thing. This does not mean, however, that you have 1,000 kids going to see the latest Pixar movie or the latest Disney movie that's coming out. This does not mean you have everybody going to museums and everybody going to the park when the weather is nice. We still need to practice safe social distancing. And that's unfortunate because kids need to play. It's a biological fact. Uh, so this is going to be a very rough 5 weeks, and I'm glad that Mayor De Blasio is taking this as seriously as we all are. Something that I know is happening right now is many school districts are closing, and I'm happy that this is this decision is made on a local level and not a state or federal level because that may happen soon where state and federal level decisions are made on local lives. And I'm going to make a video about that coming up shortly. But I would love to hear your comments and your thoughts about school closing for the next 5 weeks. Man, this is actually happening. I can't believe it. It's a good thing, but I'm kind of in disbelief because we're living in a world where we can't have kids playing out on the streets during the springtime just because of this fear of spreading the disease or contracting the disease. Wow. Crazy times we live in today. I'm just uh, I'm just at a loss for words to describe my sadness because while this is a necessary decision, and I applaud the mayor for taking all appropriate suggestions and ideas before coming to this decision, it's a bad decision. Not because it's the wrong decision, but it's because we are worried about the public health. And I guess you could say this is the best of bad options. I applaud it though. I really do. I I have personally uh, disagreed with Mayor De Blasio on a lot of things, and that's not what this video is about. This video is about praising what Mayor De Blasio did because this is what true leadership is about. Whether or not he agreed with the decision in his heart, he knew what the best decision for New York City was, and he did it. And I'm happy he did it. Wow. So please let me know what you think about this. Uh, and hopefully, on April 20th, schools open up again. But as Mayor de Blasio hinted at, they are only going to try to open up on April 20th. 20th. If if it if the prevailing winds, as it were, say that we cannot open up schools, then I think he's going to make the right decision in not opening up schools. But with the way Mayor de Blasio took the time, effort to really look at all sides of this, I'm sure he's going to do the same thing in the coming weeks. Wow. This is Alan Imperial signing off.